Hi, my name is Adrian, also known as Big A from Adventures of Big A, and I'm starting a new video series. I'm not going to quit doing the old video series where I travel to different parks and fun events and lakes and things like that, but I want to include in my channel a series about health, fitness, and longevity, and mainly the focus on health and longevity because I feel those are key components in your life to make you healthier, happier, and also to have a life where, when you get to retirement age, you're not going to have to worry as much about health issues or health problems if you take a lot of precautions and care over the kind of things that you do now if you're, not yet in your 60s like me. Now, I also want to qualify everything by saying that I'm not a doctor. I am not here to give medical advice, just some advice on some things that I have done for my own health and longevity in my own life. And I also wanted to add that if you currently have any health issues or anything, to continue to consult your physician, see your doctor about them, stick with, whatever they're helping you with, whatever they're doing. I'm not here to replace that. What I am here to do is just share my experiences, as I said, and all the research that I've done over the years, because this has been an important issue for me, really, for all of my life. And I'm going to go back a little bit in history, all the way back to when I was 4 years old. I had a family of 10 brothers and sisters, and as they went off to school, I would be the oldest child left at home. I was like 4, and so my mom would be off doing the ironing or cleaning and things that she was doing. So I got to decide what to watch on TV, and as I was flipping around at children's shows and cartoons, I came to a man called Jack LaLanne who would work out every day. He had a fitness program. He was really the original fitness guru on television. That's back when you had like 3 or 4 channels and that's it. And he used to have a exercise program every morning, and mostly women would watch it. The housewives would stop and take time out from their day to exercise with him, and he would have various calisthenics that he would do, and he sometimes used a chair, and he had a white German shepherd that was with him. And I would try to exercise along with him the best that I could as only a 4-year-old, but that was kind of the start of things for me. And as I kept getting older, I continued to do calisthenics, push-ups, jumping jacks, and things like that. Just because I wanted to get in good shape. I wanted to be in shape, but fitness just I got that bug early in life. When I was around 11 or 12 years old, that was back in 71, 72, my mother got into taking all these supplements, and she would bring things home, and she'd only take them like 1 or 2 times, and then she'd stop taking them. There were things like desiccated liver powder, brewer's yeast, lecithin capsules, things like that. And none of them were very, delicious for a child. But I was so into health and fitness. Like when I took the desiccated liver powder, it tasted so terrible that I would plug my nose and drink it. But I took it religiously because I thought, if this can help me and help benefit me in some way, I'm going to take it. So that kind of began my whole lifelong trek into not just fitness, but into health and supplements and healthy living. So as I got older, I continued that lifestyle. I never really got into drinking, drugs, smoking, or anything. I avoided a lot of bad habits in my life. And because of that, I have benefited from that as well. When I reached 40, I began to study aging and the aging process and longevity. That there was something called the Hayflick limit, which determined that your cells would only divide so many times because the DNA would control how many times I could divide, and it's what they call the Hayflick limit. You have something on the end of your DNA strands called a telomere, and your body creates an enzyme called telomerase, and that helps kind of determine the length of that telomere. But once it keeps getting shorter with each division, and once it reaches a certain length, then it just kind of the DNA unravels and it can't divide anymore. And that's one of the, things that you see when people age. Their cells will stop replicating or will not replicate as well or as healthy. But there are things like delta in the blood that, helps people stay young. Like, for example, they did experiments in the lab where they would take an old mouse and they would transfuse blood from a young mouse into the old one, and it would actually start making the old mouse younger. So that was very interesting. And there are other things like that I discovered, many things. Anyway, I'll cover all of that in future videos, as I also explain things that I'm currently doing to help with. There are things like skincare, fitness, diet, stuff like that I practice in my own life, that hopefully will also be beneficial to you if you continue to watch my future videos. I try to take a holistic, meaning complete approach to your health, meaning that it's not just about one thing. It's not just about diet. It's about sleep. It's about stress. There are many components in your health that all impact it. And holistic just means you're looking at everything, the whole system, and it's all interactive with each other. And that, I think, is one of the things when people are looking younger or whatever, they get focused on things like, well, just skincare, or maybe I need my diet a certain way. Now, there's many variables, there's many facts, and I try to cover all of those, and I'll be trying to make sure I cover all of those in future upcoming videos, because your health won't just be dependent on those things. And sometimes that's why you don't get the results that you want when you try those things, because you're missing some other factors. One of those that I want to talk about a little bit in this video is stress. Now, everybody has some stress in their life, and that's natural. In nature, you see stress. An animal will have to run from a predator or something like that. It creates stress. But what you notice is that as soon as the chase is over, if the animal escapes, they go back to grazing and, drinking at the pool. It's like it never happened. They don't dwell on it. They don't sit there trying to tell all their gazelle friends about what happened to them and telling a big story and reliving it over and over again. They just get over it, and the stress is gone. They're not being pursued anymore, and they just go on living their life, and everything's great. And I think we can learn something from that. Oftentimes we will dwell on things, and we'll keep reliving them, keep thinking about them, and we compound the problems of stress. And so the one really bad thing concerning longevity and health is that stress puts you in fight or flight, and fight or flight causes you to stop digesting food like you normally would when you're feeling good and healthy and relaxed. If you're in stress and you're in the fight or flight, it shuts all that down so it can put energy toward whatever you're running away from, whatever the issue is. So it affects your digestion, your immune system, and your sleep. And so all of those things are critical to good health. So that's why I'm stressing, no pun intended, the idea about stress and how it impacts all this in this video, because I feel like you have to address one of the key players into what will prevent any future attempt to stay younger, looking good, and all of that, that it will thwart those things. Because, for example, if you're trying to take a lot of supplements, but your digestion isn't working right, then maybe it doesn't all get absorbed like it should. Stress causes, problems with your skin. People break out. People, start having skin issues as a result of their stress. So skin is one of the things that help you look younger. So obviously you don't want a life filled with stress if that's what you're attempting to do. It's like stay looking good and healthy and youthful. So anyway, that's why I'm talking about it here in this video. One of the things that I do is I will go to YouTube and I'll pull up one of their videos on meditational music, and I'll listen to 15, 30 minutes, something like that, of music like that. I'll do a breathing exercise, for example. One of the ones that I like to do, it really helps relax me, is I'll breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 5 seconds. And I'll just keep doing that. It's not only just the breathing either. The fact that you have to focus on the breathing and you're listening to this relaxing music causes you to stop thinking about all those other problems that you have and helps reduce the stress. So even if you could just do little things like that, that's going to help you in your life. If you talk to any doctor, next time you visit your doctor, ask him the impact that he believes stress has on people's health. And without question, he will tell you that, obviously it's not good. And we all know that. So that's one of the things I wanted to stress in this video about starting to reduce stress levels as much as you can in your life. And another thing I touched on earlier is the elimination of bad habits. And I'll go into this in more detail in a future video. But just that as you're trying to do these positive moves in your life to help yourself look better, feel better, be more youthful, just get all the positive benefits of these lifestyle changes, those all get undermined with bad habits. If you drink too much, if you smoke, if you eat a lot of junk food, things like, you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 or 2 steps back. So really, that's what I'm talking about, the holistic approach. It's a lifestyle thing. There are things in your life that you just have to change if you want to get the most benefit of these things. And if you truly do want to feel better and look better in your life, I'm 61. I don't currently have any health problems. In the past, people have said, well, when's the last time you went to the doctor? And I'll say, it was a few years ago. Well, who knows? You might have cancer. You always get negative people like that in your life. That don't want to accept, that don't want to believe that, somebody could be having good things happen to them. And so they want to try and undermine that. But anyway, I ended up going to have a complete physical. I'm a former veteran, so I went to the VA. They gave me a complete physical. They checked for cancer. They did they scanned my heart and brain and everything. They just did the whole 9 yards, the full works. And you know what they found? Nothing. Because your body, a lot of times, not every time, I mean, people could, for example, let's say have cancer and not be aware of it. But a lot of times your body will give you clues. And that's why you end up going to the doctor a lot of times, because your body's letting you know something's wrong. But because I've spent my life trying to do the right things as far as my health are concerned, it's helped me avoid a lot of those things. And so I always feel pretty good. And I could tell, when I have a problem or don't have a problem. And I rarely have any health issues at all. And if I do, they're very minor. I do something to just help take care of it, whatever it is. And then it's gone and I move on. So there are things you can do in your own life. You can be empowered to take care of your own health. And, and again, as you go to the doctor, they will tell you this type of stuff. You need to get out more. You need to exercise. You need to eat right. They've been saying those things for years. And yet I think a lot of times, because it's coming from your healthcare professional, you expect them to say that stuff. People just kind of brush it off. Yeah. And they just brush it aside. But the thing is, if you're really serious about wanting good health, longevity, looking your best, you need to take it seriously and do the things that you need to do to get there. So I'll be covering a lot of these things in future videos. I'll be going, I'll try and give with each video some of the research that I've done over the years and found out about health or longevity. And then I'll also go into what I am doing and the things that I have done to help me get to a place where I look better, feel better. It helped, bring me better health and longevity in my life and, looking younger than my age. So all of those things, there's so many things that I've discovered and that I feel will take a lot of videos to share. So I hope you'll join me on this journey as I help explain these things that I've discovered. I'll recommend things. I'll probably put connect links down to different channels that I follow or watch, because there's obviously a lot of good information out there. A lot of people have some pretty good channels as well. So hopefully, you'll also look at those. But I'd like to invite you to join me in the future to watch my future health and wellness videos on the Adventures of Big A channel. And thank you for joining me tonight.